just picked up another roll of silver quarters on my long journey towards filling this guardhouse box. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching Yankee Stacking. Yeah, I got this roll from my local coin shop dealer Tim just the other day, and I have to admit, with gold and silver spiking, I've eased up a bit on my stacking. I'm gonna let this Russian Ukrainian mess sort itself out before I resume hardcore stacking. My $50 guardhouse box was much easier to finish, less silver weight, lower spot price back then, but this has been a real slog. I'm still stacking precious metals. Okay, I have more goodies to show you in upcoming videos, but this stuff right here, constitutional silver, is insurance. You know, I was just having it out with someone in the comments before I hit the record on this video. They were saying, Yankee, silver sucks as an investment. Yeah, I know. It's not an investment to me. It's insurance. This is wealth preservation. It's a prepping tool, actually. Shoot, I should probably start calling this thing a barter box, not a guardhouse box. But no, it's insurance. I invest elsewhere. I tell people this all the time and they just don't seem to get it. Everybody's rushing around looking for a good investment. For me, that has been mining stocks, or actually commodity stocks, for the past few years. They are not the darlings of Wall Street right now, but as a contrarian investor, I like it that way. So far, my mining companies are responding quite nicely to the recent rise in silver and gold. My model portfolio is up 10%, actually over 10% as of the recording of this video. And I think it's just the beginning. They're speculative plays, I know that, but I'm leveraging my conviction on where I think gold and silver are going. Lumber, too, I invest in that. Wood, food and agriculture, uranium, they're all up. You know, but I've been hammered by people recently saying I'm missing out on another huge commodity. Lithium. Yep. Yankee, what about lithium? Yankee, don't forget lithium. Yankee, you need to research lithium. Lithium. It just keeps coming up. So I'm going to get to the bottom of this lithium thing with the help of the CEO of Lithium Chile, Steve Cochrane. I'm super thrilled to have him sponsor this video, and I'm going to ask him a bunch of questions before I consider jumping in on lithium. And would you do me 3 favors while I put this next quarter tube away? Number 1, if this doesn't interest you at all, you know, you're saying, Yankee, I don't care about lithium. I just want to stack. Please feel free to skip this video. You don't need to leave a nasty comment. I got another Tim video coming out on Wednesday, all right? But 2, if you're curious, like I am, about lithium, watch all the way through and let me know what you think about it as an investment in the comments below. And 3rd, hit the like if you wouldn't mind. I cover a wide array of topics on my channel, so that would really encourage me. Okay, if you're still with me, let's welcome Steve Cochrane of Lithium Chile. Welcome, Steve. Thanks so much for joining Yankee Stacking.
Great to be here, Yankee. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about who and what we are.
Awesome. You know, my channel is largely about stacking physical precious metals. Silver and gold are really important to me to stack as insurance against things like, I don't know, government tyranny, central bank insanity, that stuff. However, I do invest some of my wealth in precious metals mining stocks and in uranium stocks, and I'm considering getting into lithium, adding that to my commodities portfolio. But Steve, I'm a noob at this. I don't know lithium that well. I mean, the earliest I can remember decades ago, it was used, primarily as an antidepressant medication, right? And
We
it's
could
in our
probably use some in today's these days, I'll tell you, but yes.
good point. Very good point. But I mean, it's in our cell phones, lithium ion batteries. We know kind of what it is, but why should I be excited about lithium and investing in it right now?
Well, perfect segue is the fact that lithium has been referred to as the white gold.
Mm.
It's an element. It's a mineral. It's right now the strongest performing commodity over the last 12 months, bar none. Oil, agriculture, precious metals, base metals, nothing's had the performance that lithium's had over the last 12 months, and it hasn't stopped. It was up another basically 4,000 US this last week. So even though we've seen a consolidation in the lithium sector, the price has continued to rise. So I think lithium should be a part of everybody's portfolio for a number of reasons. One, it's a big part of their lives, and you touched on it, right? Mobile phones, laptops, and this day and age, every tool in your garage, every implement, to do your lawn work is lithium driven. So the whole world's going cordless, and it's lithium that's driving it. And why? Well, lithium is the third lightest element in the world. You got hydrogen, helium, and then lithium. So on a weight to energy, it's the most energy dense material out there. So all lithium does is it stores electrons. It holds the energy within your batteries, and there's no substitute. Lots of research and development on, positive, negative parts of the battery, the cathode anode. As far as what holds that charge, lithium, for its weight and its energy capacity, there's nothing better.
I was reading some interesting articles on some upcoming technology surrounding energy storage. There really isn't any viable, cost-effective alternative to lithium in the foreseeable future?
Not if you need lightweight, compact energy source. If you have a large, windmill driving, and you need to store that energy,
Yep.
chances are lead zinc or lead vanadium or some of those where weight isn't a size and weight aren't a concern. Yeah, there are other technologies, but if you need lightweight, i.e., in electric transportation, EVs. You need lots of energy and a small package, i.e. cell phones, nothing better than lithium.
Interesting. A few years ago, there was a lot of talk about the supply of lithium overwhelming the demand. I think if you look back 2018, 2019, the price plummeted. And mining companies were scaling back operations, if I'm correct here. But it seems to have changed in the latter part of 2020. What happened?
Well, you have to look back to what happened in 2016, 17, that started the last rally. And it boils down to one word, Tesla. Tesla had gone from, $19 to 100 to 500. The future was all electric. It created this real interest in not only Tesla and electric transportation, but in the energy source, batteries, right? So lithium took off. They had these great growth forecasts. A lot of production, like you say, was coming on stream. I think we peaked around 24,000 US in late 2018, late 2017, late 2018. Right. And then two things happened. Additional supply came on from Australia. It's hard rock lithium versus what we do, which are the brines, the saltwater lithium. That's very, very quick to bring on production. It's expensive, and you're shipping a lot of waste rock, right? Because you've only got about 6% lithium carbonate in that rock. Nevertheless, Chinese companies stacked up and stocked up on all this Australian spodumene in particular. And then the actual demand for electric vehicles in 18 and 19 wasn't what was forecast. Mm-hmm. So two things, excess supply and demand that didn't rise to expectations. So the price collapsed. Went down to a low, I think, of about 4,500 US throughout 18, 19, and the first half of 2020. For most of those Australian producers, they need 6,000 US per metric ton to break even. So 4,500, a lot of the projects didn't go ahead, and a lot of the existing projects went broke. So there went the supply side, right? All of a sudden, and then because of low price, a lot of planned projects never got off the ground. Then you come along to 2020, and in particularly 2021, and adoption of electric vehicles is gaining a lot of traction, particularly in Asia and particularly in Europe. So all of a sudden, your supply is declining, and at the same time, demand is starting to come back, and it's coming back with a vengeance. And not only do we see it continuing in Asia, obviously in Europe, but it's interesting, the US, which was a late adopter, is now all of a sudden getting on the bandwagon. You know, we always knew there was Tesla, but now you've got the Ford Mach-E. Somebody told me that every automotive commercial at Super Bowl this year was for EVs. You know, Ford's got that electric 150 coming out. All of a sudden, you know, probably arguably the biggest car market in the world is going electric. So all of this, I think, now is contributing to the spike in demand. At the same time, we have a shortfall in supply. So prices of lithium, which were 6,500 in September of 2020, are 73,000 US per metric ton today. You know, that's almost a 1,000% increase in the last 2 years. So really, people don't understand. You look at gold, you look at cryptocurrency, nothing has performed to the same extent as lithium in the last year.
I got to ask you right off the bat, why Chile?
Well, Chile has been referred to as the Saudi Arabia of lithium. Over half the world's resources are in Chile, and they're by far the lowest cost producer. So like Saudi Arabia can produce oil at $3 or $5 a barrel because they've got so much and it's so prolific. Chile can produce a ton of lithium carbonate for approximately 1,500 US. That jumps to 3,000 in Argentina. That goes to about 5,000 or 6,000 in Australia, goes to 9,000 in China. And then it's all because of grade and current production methodology. But Chile is the lowest cost producer of a ton of lithium with over half the reserves. So Chile is a great place to start. Chile also, believe it or not, is the strongest, most stable economy and democracy in all South America. For 40 years, it's had one of the strongest, if not strongest, economies, a very stable currency, very stable politically. So it's a great place to do business from just that standpoint. You don't have the volatility of Colombia with the rebels, or the socialism in Venezuela, or the uncertainty with the governments of Bolivia and even Brazil to a certain extent. They're the most stable. So, great resource country. They've been mining for centuries, so they understand it. They've got qualified people. They've got great rule of law there with respect to resources. So it's as good a place as any to start, right?
What's your relationship like with the local or indigenous communities there in Chile?
I think, if you don't mind me bragging, and it goes back to our team, I think we have the best community relations team in all of Chile. And the reason is we've successfully negotiated. To understand Chile, like any country in the world today, Aboriginal rights have to be respected. They see themselves as stewards of the land, stewards of the environment. In the case of Chile, they control the surface access rights to a lot of these lithium deposits in Chile. So you need their permission to get on. You own the minerals. You can make claims, file your claims, stake your claims. So you own the minerals, but to get access to those, you need the indigenous community's approval. We have 3 separate communities that have given us approval for 3 projects, 3 programs we've initiated. Best of my knowledge, I don't think anybody else in Chile has accomplished that yet. Maybe different on the hard rock mining side, but I certainly know on the lithium side, that's an exceptional achievement for our guys. And I'm very proud of them for that. And I'm very proud of the relationship we have. Apparently, after the fact, they speak very highly of the relationship between our company and the local community. So that's encouraging.
You keep saying, brines and hard rock. I want to know behind you that picture. Is that, I know, right? Is that like what you mean when you say brine? Could you explain the difference, I guess, between the brine and the hard rock?
Absolutely. This
Yeah.
is our Salar de Jalados in Chile.
Okay.
This is one of our properties. This is actually our largest property in Chile. What's unique about this property is you look over my shoulder, you're basically looking into Argentina. So the end of our property is about a half a kilometer from the Argentinian border. So Jose de Castro, who's manager of our Argentinian project, he also said that the look of this property is very similar to the producing salars in Argentina. So he thinks this is one of our most prospective properties, but lithium is in the hard rock. That's where it sort of initiates itself. It's a mineral, it's a salt that exists in the hard rock. The fortunate part of Chile, Argentina, Bolivia, the so-called lithium triangle, is the rocks there are very rich in lithium. Not only that, but the high Andes have this huge snowpack every winter. Sometimes you can get 3-5 meters of snow in a day. So during the winter, you have this huge snowpack that melts in the spring, and essentially Mother Nature is doing mining for you. It leaches the lithium out of the surrounding rock, dissolves it, runs down into these valleys, and deposits in these lakes.
Wow.
So instead of having to mechanically crush and mine the lithium out of the rock, Mother Nature, through the action of snow and melting, has done it for you. So it's the same lithium, but one's already captured. The other one has been released by Mother Nature for you. So the difference essentially between brines and hard rock are twofold. One, cheaper because Mother Nature's done half the work. And usually the quality is much better because the brines over millennial have been naturally concentrated. So you get a much higher grade, much higher quality lithium within the saltwater aquifers in South America than you do traditionally in some of the hard rock mines in Quebec or in Australia, for example. So that's essentially the difference.
All right. So if I were to try to evaluate a lithium company to see if their stock price was a good buy, what should I look for?
Well, first and foremost, you want to find a lithium company that has a resource. There's an awful lot of exploration companies out there that have properties or are looking for lithium. And, that's your risk end of the profile right now. Granted, if you find something, you can create the most value, but that's where the highest risk exists because you don't know if your property is going to work out or not. Then you go move into that next bracket, that next tier, and that's the companies like ourselves that have now presented a technical resource. We know on that one well we drilled in Argentina last fall, we released the results here just a couple of weeks ago. On one hole, we have 1.4 million metric tons of lithium carbonate. That has a value. That value in the market today is about 100 times what our stock market value is, but obviously you've got to discount it back. It's still in the ground, but at least it's an asset. And what's interesting in our space, there's only 5 or 6 big players, that are actually producing lithium. Albemarle, SQM, Livent, Galaxy, Ganfeng in China. So the players at the production level are very few and far between. And what those guys have been doing is they've been buying the pre-production companies for their assets. So that bracket that we're in now, there's a bit of a vacuum. 4 or 5 companies over the last year have been bought out. Pre-production, proven asset in the ground. They had lithium carbonate in the ground and they've been bought out. So in terms of your value profile, I think where we are, we provide the best value. We've de-risked the play in the sense we now can show shareholders we have an asset, and yet our value doesn't reflect where all of the acquisitions and mergers and activities have taken place. So I think that's going to heat up because we started phase 2 of our program in Argentina, and that's designed to build that resource. And as we get to 3 million, 4 million, 5 million metric tons, which we think we can do, then you can bet your bottom dollar somebody's going to take us seriously. And
is that your exit strategy?
Absolutely. I don't ever see myself as building or producing lithium, but I can certainly see myself entertaining an offer as significantly higher than where we're trading at right now. And I think
so you're trying to get some attention, a lot of attention.
and doing what we're doing today is a great first step, making people understand that this resource is extremely valuable, and people are buying companies with that resource still in the ground. And that doesn't happen very often, right? So we're in the right spot at the right time.
You have some analysts covering Lithium Chile. What's their price target?
Well, I think when they picked up on us, which would have been fall of 2020, we were in that 38-40 range. Mm-hmm. And as an exploration company, they just looked at our land value alone. Didn't give us anything for any potential resource. But they were following us because in their report, they said if we actually could show we have a resource, moves us into a different category. So they revised their value or their price target on us on this one well, the resource that came out of it, and they now have a $1.53 target on us. Whoa. So, and I even think that's probably light, because I think we can get 3 to 4 times the resource that we reported on one well. And so you could, most likely take that target and multiply it 2 to 3 times. That would be my goal. We had a strategic Chinese lithium company come in. They wanted to take the whole financing. Unfortunately, I could only make $3 million available to them, but they account for about 3% of our shareholding. But what's amazing, they made their decision and came in within 72 hours. They happen to be the second largest lithium processor in all of China. And just last year alone, they made a $280 million investment into Argentina to acquire a strategic lithium asset. So in my mind, they'd be a natural partner going forward. And they're very interested in us. We're very interested in them. But at the same time, I know I've been approached by other groups. I think this could be a very interesting year.
How can people get in touch with you if they have more questions, Steve?
Well, our website is www.lithiumchile.ca. We're constantly updating it because there's a lot of moving parts to the story, as you can tell. But also I have a VP Business Development / Corporate Communications who would make herself available for more information or put in touch somebody with myself. And she can be reached at Michelle, MICHELLE, at lithiumchile.ca.
I'll make sure to put all of that information in the description of the video below. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, listen, I really appreciate taking the time, and good luck.
Thanks.